Hello everyone, this is Sean and welcome. We're doing a new Transport Fever series. The game has been out for a couple of months now and it's undergone a revision or two in the meantime where they've ironed out a few of their little wrinkles. It's still not perfect, but it is pretty fun. I really enjoy it and I've gotten good enough to where I can play on the hard difficulty, or at least I was able to on my last game. So we're going to start up a new one here and we're going to see how it goes. Um, we're using you know what? Let's play with the American tile set this time. I've been playing with the European tile set quite a bit. Be nice to get a little variety in the trains there. We're going to go with a medium map, flat terrain. I wouldn't, I'd prefer really to play on the hilly terrain, but I'm not sure I'm good enough to do that quite yet. Playing on hard difficulty, I think, is going to be the difficult part. I keep saying you will go bankrupt, but I made it tier 2000 on hard difficulty, so hopefully we'll be all right. And we're going to start on 1850, and that's definitely difficult on its own. Let's throw a couple of randoms in there. There's the seed if you would like to try to play along. And we're going to start here, and hopefully, pretty sure it can record through all of this. So for this series, I'm going to try doing some editing so you don't have to watch all of the track building and a lot of the tedium involved, like replacing trains and cars and all those things. So I might do a little more, and then also there's a lot of waiting around for money to come in. I'm not really sure the best way to go about editing that. So we'll try a few things. I might just try fast forwarding and letting, like maybe commenting over it as it fast forwards or something. So we'll see. I'm still growing my channel. I do appreciate how well the channel has been going. And if you're watching this, I hope you'll continue. I appreciate you watching. Um, um, so this will be kind of an experiment in doing edited episodes. Normally, I just talk for 30 minutes and then stop and then start the next episode and talk for, well, more like 25 minutes or something. So the lengths of these episodes might be a little weird. They might not all have the correct intro and outro like they should, or I might just have to edit in something along those lines. I don't know. And hopefully we don't run into, every once in a while a game will crash while it's setting up like that, but it didn't crash here, it seems. Come on. This black screen is staying black for a really long time. I don't, my mouse, there's my mouse. There we go. Okay, great. So here's our map. Very deserty. I forgot. I've been playing on the European tile set. Ooh, lots of desert. What do we got here? Let's turn on the all right, so we've got a few towns that look like they could be reasonably well connected. The main thing we're going to be looking for is food. So this looks like it could connect up to Eugene and Arlington fairly well. There's oil over here as well that we could connect up to an oil refinery once we get the food set up. So even just taking Eugene and Arlington food to there would provide us with a pretty good income from the very start. There's food here that could service Fort Collins and I guess Chula Vista, but it definitely seems like the Eugene Arlington way is going to be the way to go. But I'm going to take a look around, so I will throw an edit in here, and then we'll be back after I'm done looking around. And we're back. So I have taken a look around, and I believe that Eugene Arlington is going to be the best starting area. So we're going to make Eugene our hometown because it is slightly larger than Arlington. It's at 144 population. We're going to start our first rail line coming along down here. We're going to go through alongside of the river here in Eugene. We can do that because it's still pretty early, but it'll quickly take over all of the area around our station. We're going to run the line. I guess we're going to have to cross the river at some point. We're going to be wanting to use this station later on. No, you know what? We're going to bring this wheat up to this station, I think, if I can figure out a way to make that work. It is pretty steep. Maybe if I come around like that or something. But anyways, that's the plan. We could use a combination of trucks or something to do that too, I suppose. And turn that into plastic, and then that plastic will be running down to here. I'm probably going to split that off before going through Eugene instead of after. We might set up a bypass around this side of Eugene later on. But for now, we're going to cut along the river. If we're going to be going over there later, I don't really see any need to go over there now. We're going to be using this timber later on to go there, and then that's going to come back and that's going to go over there and be part of our goods triangle, so that timber will come back across. So we're probably going to have another crossing over here. So maybe I want to bring this line around this side of the, but we'll worry about that later. Now, I'm kind of tempted to try to use this this food. I just don't know if that's far enough to really make a profit. Like, I feel like it's far enough for Arlington to make a good profit, but is it far enough for Eugene to make a good profit? So what I was looking at was this one over here. Like, this one is definitely far enough to where it's going to be making a good profit. And if I cut on this side, I can cross the river here and stay in there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use that later on. But I think that's my goal, is to go across this way, up around here, down through here, and then over to there. And then we're going to run this one along here and then probably cross over, I guess, up here. And then we can put the station over there or something. But because the town is frozen, there's still plenty of opportunity for us to kind of do whatever we want. So let's get our first few areas set up here. And I'll just go with medium streets because we're inside the town. Need to go out a little bit. It sounds like I might have the volume a little high. So if it's too loud, then I will fix it after the next edit. But for now, we're going to stick with it. And we'll put you like that. And am I going to be able to fit my station in there? Or have I already screwed up this game? Usually 4 tracks is going to be enough. It looks like it's going to fit in there. A little tight, but not the end of the world. If I do this, it really is going to limit the town to this side of the river, but I don't mind doing that. It'd be nice to kind of, I'm going to use the shift. There we go. I am going to want to run, okay, that's right. Oh, sometimes I lay down freight trains or passenger trains where it's supposed to be a freight train or something like that. And that is a bad idea sometimes. So I'm going to actually, here's a little trick I figured out. If you run these out level at the very start, you will be able to set up a little switch tracks on them like that without having to deal with those weird too much slope issues. So it's nice to start out level. I mean, you know, you kind of want to get the level to the ground first, but it seems like this tends to work out better. And I'm going to want those to narrow down to 2. Actually, I think I'll just leave them like that for now, and we'll come over and do this end so we can have just the basic setup going here on these tracks. Let's stay on level. Very good. And one more, and we'll be safe. There we are. Great. So we can make those switchback tracks whenever we need to. Over here, so in my last game, I really ran into a lot of late game issues with trains backing up at a busy station like this one. And this is definitely going to be a busy station. So I have a couple options. I could make it multiple stations here, but I don't really think that's what I want to do. And I'm going to be trying to get over to here later on with it. I could set up trucks running back and forth and then just leave the station down here, which would definitely speed up the through time and allow me to run trains going directly through there. It would be adding a lot of extra costs with those trucks, and I'm not a big fan of the trucks doing that. What does my station look like if I do a terminal cargo station? I'm going to say 3 lines on that one. Let's make it a terminal station now. Whoops, that's not really the key I wanted to use. That's more like the key I wanted to use. So if I try to get it up here, I'm pretty sure it'll connect there, but that really doesn't leave me a lot of room to maneuver with the ins and outs of this station. If I do a standard station like that, so kind of what I would like to do is like that, but that's going to be way too far away. And even something like that is not going to do it. I could really tear things up. I don't want to have to tear those fields out. Like if I do this, the transport costs are just going to be ridiculous with trucks running back and forth. If I do this, like that doesn't help at all, or actually better off doing the terminal station like I was looking at before. I really don't want to lose that field. That just doesn't give me any room to maneuver at the end. I don't want to, whoops, I don't want to have it going this way because the, first off, I don't even think that's going to be close enough to grab the, yeah, I mean, you can see it's not lighting up. So it has to be like right here to light up the production facility. And at that point, so it looks like we're going to have to use trucks to make this work better. And if we're going to have to use trucks to make this work better, we may as well put it in the optimal position. I think I'm probably going to end up redoing those roads down there as well when we get to that point. So you know what? I think I will redo all the roads and then I'll place the station in here. So let's get this station set up as well. Actually, you know what? Let's do one at a time. Okay, so I will run this rail over here and I'll run the rail down here and we're going to hook up with this station right there. That should work out real well. I think I want to have this one go in both directions as well because I was looking at Fort Collins and Chula Vista here. They can come down and take advantage of this food depot as well. So I'm going to run it probably like, we want to have that kind of a platform. Good. I'd say that's entirely appropriate for what I'm looking to do, and we'll just like put it right there. That should work out real well. Give it enough room to where we can go around that corner. Beautiful. And now we will jump to fast forward mode, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say while we're doing it. So we're going to run this line along underneath the screen there, up along this river, and over to there. Well, I didn't record the original part of this video, unfortunately, where I laid that rail down along the side of the river. So I apologize for that, but if you don't know how to lay a straight rail along the side of a river, you probably shouldn't be playing on hard difficulty. Here we are setting up the little side, well, we were setting up the side route for the grain to be able, the cows to get to the station from the farm. And now we're going to do boy, this is going really fast. We're going to do the side rail there at the entryway to the farm station, and then we're going to lay down the main line here. Now, getting these little loop turnaround things turned out to be a little trickier than I thought. I know I'd said that if you level them out at the very beginning, you can do them with no problem, but obviously that wasn't the case there, so I had to stretch them out a little longer. And you'll see, I think the next time that we do that, it turns out a little better. I'm a big advocate of building short stretches of track at the, or especially in the early stages of the game. You can save a ton of money. If you try to build long stretches, the game is going to want to tear out big chunks of ground there. And I think that we saw with this curve there that I did it for about half the price or even less of what it recommended if I just laid it down that entire big curve all at once. So here again, we made those. We just leveled out the track as we laid out the track leading out of the station, and it'll let you build those turnarounds pretty easily without running into the slope conflicts. You still run into them a little bit, but not as much as if you don't plan for it ahead of time. Here we're building so we've got all 4 tracks set up there to go into Eugene, and now we are building the double track going from the wheat station. Little problem with null segments there, but that wasn't too difficult to deal with. You just had to get it down to the tiny little piece there. I think we run into that again later on while I'm recording at normal speed. So here I didn't quite line up the sides of the track correctly, so I just had to make a little switch there. And now we're going to look over the entire line, and we're going to put a couple of turnarounds in the middle of each segment here, so that way, like when you go through and upgrade the lines, sometimes your trains will get stuck and have to turn around, and that'll make that a little easier. And then of course we put plenty of signals in. I like to leave a lot of room between the signals so the trains can pick up speed and gain acceleration, and basically it kind of prevents trains from stopping a lot while they're running down the line. I'm not really sure that it's better than using closely packed signals. I'm sure a lot of you do that yourselves. It's just the way that I do it. So now here's the depot. We're just going to go with one depot, and I probably should put more depots in there, but I still haven't at this point. Spoiler alert. And we're going to get Eugene set up, and that's going to be it. Back to the live video. With the game still on pause here, we are done laying out our train, our track there, and we are going to buy our first. Actually, we should start building the demand here in the city. So I did forget to set down a station for cars. Never really know the right spot to put these. I guess land doesn't necessarily get more valuable, although it is nice to be able to have things within our catchment area. Oh, I forgot to change the volume between episodes as well, but we're already back in here, so hopefully it's going to be all right. We have the horse wagon. I guess that's the only option. We'll buy up 6 of those, and we will set that for our delivery line. That might be too many, but I'd rather, I'd just rather have too many of those cheap vehicles drawing in demand than not enough. So we're actually going to go ahead and, whoops, that doesn't start the clock. That starts the clock. We're going to get those going, which should start making a little bit of demand. And then we're going to build, oh, you know what? I forgot about the little hidden step up here too. So we will put this right, actually let's go ahead and just put it right there. Put that right there. And we aren't going to need very many wagons for this one. And we're going to have to set up a new line. What the? So I like to keep the colors the same based on like the production line, and so this is going to be the farm cheater, and we're going to let that run between those 2 stations. Interesting that it like forced it to do that. It's almost like it knew what was up. So we're going to do that, and that should allow those 2 to connect. And then we will buy trains. I guess we only have one option here. And I say we only have one option here. There we go. Oh boy, and we're already out of cash again. Luckily, we haven't had to borrow so much money. So we started out 1.2 million in debt. We borrowed $1.5 million to build that railroad. And we're going to have to borrow a couple million to get a few trains going here. So we're at about 4.7, which is fine. I just want to get this train running and basically last until the next train is invented, and then we'll start spending some money on that. So this carries livestock and it carries food, and that's what we need to do. It carries machines and tools. Okay, so that'll work for our future plans. And I think we can do 4 on this train, and it won't be too ridiculously bad. So we'll close that out. We're going to set the line on this one to Eugene Food. And hopefully that will start producing demand on our line. But it might have to run one trip or something before it does. We're actually going to lock that back up too. But we will follow you, little train, as you run along at a very slow speed. So we'll turn up the speed a little bit too. And I guess I didn't need to borrow that whole $1.15 million because we are paying interest on it. But the interest rate isn't too high. The interest rate is pretty high when you have zero income, but it's not, you know, that's probably like $30,000 a year or something to borrow that. So you can already see that there's cattle waiting up there to be delivered to here, and then that second one should connect directly to our rail. I haven't really built a two-step production line like that, as simple as that one. So I hope it works. But I used one that was further away, you know what I mean? Like it had to go up and down the road, so it kind of felt more legitimate, you know. I did that in my other game, and it worked out pretty well. That was when I started doing goods production, which in hard mode is really difficult because you can't have many trains running only half full. So if they run one way full and run one way back empty, that train is going to lose money. So with goods, like we'll do here, you have to find a nice triangle route with your lumber, and you need to find a triangle route with your goods and plastic. And if you can do that, you can have the line that's producing the plastic run half full, and the other lines will make up the profits for it. And then, of course, that will produce additional... Oh, look, so good. We've got livestock waiting there already. So I'm going to wait until this train gets to the bridge, and then I'm going to go ahead and build another train. Actually, I guess I can go ahead and build the other train right now. It doesn't really cost much to have it. But I will launch it when we get to the bridge. I want to buy one more. Am I out of money? There we go. And let's set this one onto, it's the only line available, set it onto that line. And I guess I'm going to want to buy a third one. And then that should tide us over, I think, until the next train comes around. I actually don't have a chart with the evolution of trains on it, but I should make one up. I have a chart for the European trains, but I'm not running the European set. I'm playing the American one. I guess it's kind of unfortunate that the first playthrough I did was in the American set here, but I've done like 8 or 9 plays through, or at least attempted plays through, with the English set here, so I was ready for a change. Mostly I just want to experience the different trains. I feel like the American set has a better selection of trains, or at least of diesel and non-steam trains. The European set may have the best steam train selection. Probably does. It seems likely. So we're losing $120,000 a year on loans right now. But already we've got a full train coming back. I think we're going to be able to support 3 trains here when this train gets to the bridge. Or I guess when train number 2 gets to the bridge. That's probably when we're going to want to set this next one up. Where is that train? Not even particularly close to the bridge, is it? Yeah, it's ways back there. Alright, let's get this third one going. Guess I'm going to have to borrow money first. There we go. 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, really? Wow, these trains are more than $1 million each. Well, let's hope this works, or else this may never even see the light of day. I'm not going to start up a series that's only going to last like 2 episodes. I'm not 100% sure what the production schedule for this is going to be like with the editing and stuff. But I want to play this game, and I don't want to play it unless I tape it. And this is pretty good because there'll be a lot of downtime. Like I spent, first off, well, I guess I don't need to tell you that. I'm sure I talked about this while I was recording that rail section. But I spent quite a bit of time on that rail section, and if I wanted to get up, I should have. I should have got up and got some water or something, but I'll be doing that here pretty quick with this one too. But I did want to stick around until we actually had some goods delivered. That would be nice to see. Won't take too long because train number 2 up here is going to have goods on it. Oh, it's so far away. So let's take a nice ride in the cab of this train. Which first, let's make sure it's not carrying any food. Unfortunately, we are delivering it to the food spot, right? Let's turn it around. I want to get some deliveries in. Just let us make a token delivery of 4 food. That's fine. Okay. Now let's watch from the cab. I tried really hard to keep things level while I was laying out the track. Although I also didn't mind little dips and ups and downs. You'll see a little area here. There's a little hill that I went over that, you know, the AI wanted me to cut through it. And I saved a lot of money by just going over this little hill. It doesn't seem to have affected our speed any. I was really happy at the nice long straightaways I was able to get. This land is pretty flat. I would say the USA map tends to be flatter than the European map. Right down where you can touch the river. Just reach your hand out. Scoop up some water. And then this is going to just be a long section of straightaway. And apparently a bird that's like flying right on the engine with us. Here comes another train. Everybody wave. Hi, other train. Woo woo. See ya. No passengers yet. It won't take us too long to get passengers going though. You really want to get your freight started and get people established on freight. And then once you get that going, you can start working with passengers. You kind of need better trains to do that as well. So it might not be until we get to our at least our next generation of trains before we even start looking at passengers. Well, here we are coming up on Eugene. I'm gonna go ahead and jump out of the train here. We can watch it pull up to the station. Let's go ahead and close that out too. Here it comes. Our little one-horse town. Finally gonna get a delivery. These vehicles, which are just losing money. Look at that. 3 years of lost money on this train, on that truck there. But, oh, you know, something I want to take those off. There we go. Look at that, $34,000. We're in the money. Right, well, now all we have to do is just let that run for a while. And we will be in a much better position financially. How far where can I do this to where it's gonna, you can see quite a bit of the line if we do that. If I go like that, oh, we can see the whole thing, can't we? Beautiful. I hope you've enjoyed watching episode 1 of our Willamette Valley Railroad Transport Fever series. If you did, you should click the like button down below and leave some comments in the comment area. I like talking about the series and the game and so forth. I don't really know what I would name anything after people. I guess maybe I could name towns in future episodes or something. But I am definitely recording this in chunks. I recorded a bunch of blocks yesterday, and so I'm going to be editing those today. And I might just end up doing the whole series this week and then dealing it out that way. So we'll see how that goes. So sorry, I probably won't get your names in there, but I still hope you'll comment and tell your friends to watch. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you will enjoy this series. And I guess that's it. Thanks, you guys. See you next time. Bye.